My name is Cynthia Brooks, and I was diagnosed with cancer 10 years ago now. What turned out is that I had, 10 years ago, what they called the fastest moving cancer that they knew of, and by the time we got to biopsies, the cancer was everywhere and had already made it into a lymph node. Started talking about the options. You know, what I want to say also is that I had the best, supposed in the country, oncologist, gynecologist. It was first, the cancer was discovered in my cervix. So these are the top-notch guys. Some of them are Rhodes Scholars, Harvard grad, top of the class, right there in the heart of Beverly Hills. So the options were surgery and chemo and radiation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When I asked, well, you know, if I do all that, is that going to be the end of it? They said no, and I said there's absolutely no guarantee that this cancer isn't going to pop up somewhere else, as it has with so many people. And of course they agreed. Now, I was just barely starting to study alternative medicine. I had stumbled upon some tricks in my life, something to relieve my migraine headaches. I never get headaches. So I knew there was something to this business of, you know, this combination of food, herbs, et cetera, et cetera. Over the course of the years, I'd heard about a Rife machine. I was already at a meditation center. I was studying with the Essenes who wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls, and Jesus Christ is one of the most famous Essenes that they have. And it was actually everything that Einstein ever said. It was all about moving energy. Everything is energy. Particular kind of meditation, how to move around energy. So I was 6 months studying with them pretty heavily, three to four times a week. And of course, they're very into, the Essenes have always been into body cleansing. That's how I was getting more and more interested in alternative medicine. Once these doctors told me what my option was, it just wasn't, I just couldn't do it. It wasn't acceptable. I just couldn't do it. And knowing what I knew, the small amount at that time, what I knew of alternative medicine, hearing miracle story after miracle story. So I rejected everything, to the fury of my doctors, and actually went out and sought another oncologist, gynecologist, who is probably one of the more famous ones, and again, right there in the heart of Beverly Hills, and claimed to have 1 foot in Eastern medicine, 1 foot in Western medicine. When I went to him and told him what I wanted to do, what I was trying to do, he discouraged me and said, you can't do it, not with this kind of cancer. And I was sitting there in his office, and he was sitting across the desk from me, and he says, I know what you're trying to do, but all of my patients who have treated your kind of cancer the way you want to are dead. So now I have this, you know, I have this Eastern medicine doctor telling me I'm going to die too. And I just kind of threw my hands up in the air and I said, well, then we're going to see if it really works or it really doesn't. I was just very set on my mark. I did have support at the meditation center. Everyone there was saying, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. In my opinion, dealing with life-threatening ailments, cancer, AIDS, etc., I think that's actually the secondary disease. The first disease is fear. And I talk about cancer, and the subject of cancer that nobody wants to talk about, what I talk about is cancer consciousness. And so I went out and treated my mind, body, and soul as one, meaning with the meditation, doing the spiritual work, educating myself, as well as putting myself on a program, a body program. And so I just asked questions, asked for help. One person after another came up. And what I stumbled upon doing was I sort of assembled a cancer team, as I called it, or a healing team. One was a physicist, one was a microscopist, one was a kinesiologist, and they all sort of hit these different marks, and I would cross-reference anytime I found out any new information. With my cancer, and treating my cancer, I did not adopt any established specific regimen that other people were doing. I sort of somehow managed to piece together, from all the information that I was finding out, I pieced together something that would work for me. I did this routine and went back for biopsies about 4.5 months later. 80% cell recovery doing this. They sent the tests back, of course, 3 times because they thought it was a mistake, and it wasn't. And then 4 months after that, I went and was completely cancer-free. No cancer to be found. That was 10 years ago.